4, 5. Into
Into
the
the next
next
life
life
with
with Drew
Drew and me.
and
Oh,
me.
we are not we are not going to go on a duetting tour anytime soon.
Okay, welcome to the Drew and Me podcast. And today I am joined by Philadelphia comedian Dave Primiano.
Thank you for having me. I thank you for having me back, or is this how are we playing that? Is
This
that other one
episode,
going in
this
the
episode
trash?
may come out
Okay.
before the original.
Well, thank you for having me or having me back. You can edit whichever the correct response is.
And Dave also hosts a podcast with comedian Dan Getz called The Rank Bank, available on anywhere you get podcasts.
Yep. Mainly
Um,
Spotify. Just say, yeah, that's fine.
cool. All right. um, yeah. Spotify. Are you guys on Apple Music and
Yes.
okay?
Yeah,
Cool.
I should push that because I don't have
Okay.
any Apple products. So I had to jump through so many hoops to get it on there. That's really the one I should push. Watch it on there. It took a
Cool.
lot of work. Spotify just said, "Yeah, you're fine."
Cool. And Dave and I were talking before the podcast that the second episode, as the day we're filming this, which is December 13th, the second episode of the second season just dropped.
Oh, the no, third season.
Okay, cool. Okay, second
Yes.
episode of third season.
Mondays they come out.
Cool.
Yeah. Check it out. We've already released ranking the 7 words you can't say on TV. Obviously, that's not a whole family episode, and all zombie media. And we have Wes Anderson movies and Christmas songs coming up next.
All right.
2 different episodes.
Okay. Cool, man. Yeah, for Christmas songs, I'd say Feliz Navidad high up there for me.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's making my list. I all I really have so far is Mariah Carey.
Okay.
But I'm Jewish. I'm an outside perspective on this. So but it's fun to do it from an outside perspective. So
I guess the Hanukkah song's got to be on there then.
I don't remember if we agreed. I think now that you mention it, I would, because because someone asked if it was just Christmas songs or like holiday songs, and I forgot about that one. The first song I thought was the dreidel song, and I was like, "There's no way that's going on my list." So I forgot there is a second Hanukkah song though. Good call. You may have impacted the episode.
Oh. Yeah, Feliz Navidad and Christmas Baby Come Home, and there's so many different versions of Christmas Baby Come Home. The
we're just
YouTube
picking the
version's good.
song. Yeah, we decided we're ranking the song, not the
Okay.
artist. So there's not we
Okay.
don't have 8 different versions of Jingle Bell Rock or whatever. Which obviously goes to the Mean Girls version.
Oh yeah.
But
Well,
yeah.
as soon as you get, as honestly, as soon as you see the Mean Girls version, like there's no going back.
Yeah,
And
there's a guy
and
that gets hit in the face with a boombox during it. Hilarious.
and I'm assuming since Tina Fey wrote the script, she wrote that sequence, and Tina Fey is also extremely local. Like she's from the Upper Darby area, so you got to support her, you know.
True. Well, yeah, I will go biased, but that would probably would be on my list.
Yeah. Cool. So on the Drew and Me podcast, we talk about movies, we talk about music, sometimes we do sketches. Today we're just talking about movies. And we're talking about kids movies, kids sports movies, that were both around when Dave and I were kids. Talking about Rookie of the Year and Little Giants. Rookie of the Year I saw has been rebooted. Um, it's been rebooted in some capacity as like a TV show. Maybe exclusively streaming.
Probably on Disney Plus. They've been doing that with a lot of their stuff.
Cool.
And Little Giants isn't Disney, I found out. That's why it was harder for me to track down to watch.
Haha.
But yeah.
um, Little Giants they should definitely reboot though.
I I mean, I don't you mean as like a series? Because I don't know. Like you had
I
two
think
iconic
movie.
90s actors in kind of their primes. I
I'm
think it works because
gonna
of
say
them.
movie. Yeah,
I mean, who's going to do it? Ed Helms? He seems to be the reboot guy, right?
he could be the announcer. Um, he could do the Harry. He could do the Harry Shearer role.
I mean, I did want to get into that at some point during this cast about the announcers because they did have two heavy hitters
Oh yeah,
for announcers, and I
oh
was
yeah.
very disappointed they didn't give Harry Shearer really anything funny to do. He kind of played the role straight up.
He's he's fantastic straight up though. Like it's the second he's on screen, he just like steals the scene. Like he's so powerful. Like his voice is just like so powerful,
It's
and
great for it. Yeah,
he is kind of in Reverend Lovejoy mode at that point. But Reverend Lovejoy is one of his stronger characters. So,
I agree. Yeah, I mean, I think he just he if I am I saying which movie I like better now, or do I hold off on that?
you know what? I think it's cool if we jump around because I think they are
Okay,
kind of interchangeable.
because
So,
if I was doing a head to head comparison,
yes.
the announcer in Rookie of the Year is one of the few that would beat out Little Giants.
Okay.
I definitely enjoyed one movie largely over the other. I mean, it might be because I hate baseball and love football, but I go a lot more in depth than that. It's we'll get to it when we get to it. Each point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, to that point, I do think John Candy is stronger as Cliff Murdoch than Harry Shearer is because they did give him more to do. And
Hmm.
like John Candy shows up like throughout the
Immediately. Yeah.
movie and like he's integrated and like they show him doing stuff like off air too. Like he or makes a bet with like um the other announcer and stuff or he's the announcer, he's like the intern kind of or yeah
Yeah.
like um I kind of wish that character got more of a role actually.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they had him for a short period of time, so they kind of just knocked out all his scenes in one sitting, maybe
uh
because he didn't go anywhere. They were all shot from one location.
uh
That's always the thought. Yeah.
uh um One of the things I do really like about Rookie of the Year is some great shots of Wrigley Field, and I think they did actually shoot on location.
I could see
Which
that.
I think that's awesome. Like that's really cool. I'm not sure if all the movie was shot in Chicago, but I think Daniel Stern, who directed it from like Home Alone and The Wonder Years, he did an outstanding job. Of shooting it. A lot of the on location stuff looks great. If it's on a set, you can't really tell. Like the film is really beautifully shot, and Raja Gosnell, who is also a friend of John Hughes, who directed the third Home Alone movie and then did the Smurfs movie. I think Raja Gosnell was a really talented filmmaker. He did the editing, so I
Okay.
think it's a very well edited movie, and I think Raja Gosnell is a big reason. So yeah, but
I didn't realize Daniel Stern was his director until like halfway through. but it made sense because when I was watching it, I remember thinking like his character tonally really doesn't fit in with the rest of the
I
movie.
agree. I agree. It's too goofy.
Yeah, so I guess he like kind of shoehorned himself in there.
Yeah.
But I guess I was looking up one of the kid actors, maybe like, hey, this person looks familiar, and I saw at the top of the IMDb page, like, oh, okay, that makes like, yeah, because other than that, there's not really a reason for him to be there.
Yeah. His like the actor Albert Hall, who one of his famous roles was Apocalypse Now. He plays the manager, Sal Martinella. He
Okay.
has a good line with Sturm about I or beating them in the minor leagues, and he's been following me ever since. So that's a really good line. But
Hmm.
outside of that, there's not too much that the character does, and he does kind of seem he seems more in like a sketch, like in an SCCTV or an SNL sketch. Like
Exactly.
that's a sketch comedy character right there.
It's upsetting too, because when the opening credits were going, that was the name I was happiest to see because I know, like in the other one, you had Moranis and Ed O'Neill, who were
Oh
just
yeah,
two comedic heavy hitters, and in
oh
this
yeah,
one, the first name is Gary Busey, which I don't think of So when his name came up, I was like, okay, good. They have someone that can bring it at the level that those two can bring it at, and he
yeah.
didn't.
Uh, I know. And for everyone watching and listening, check out other Daniel Stern movies. Like check out Home Alone, check out
Mhm.
Breaking Away, check out uh or Bushwhacked because he's terrific in all of those movies.
Oh yeah, he's
So
great.
check him out, particularly in Breaking Away. He's really good in that movie. Yeah, like he's just an awesome actor and he's really funny. He's also in the TV show Shrill. Not sure if you've seen that one.
I haven't. That's on one of the streamers, right?
Hulu.
Yeah, okay. Uh, that's the one I have commercials with. I'm not gonna watch that. No.
um yeah, he plays the dad in Shrill.
Okay.
I think they're up to season 3. It's A. Bryant, who's in Saturday Night Live.
Okay.
Yeah. Uh, which um, you can definitely see Daniel like the cast in Rookie Year is pretty interesting. Um, the owner is the Duncan's toy shop guy in Home Alone 2.
The owner of the nephew, because I recognize the
Um,
nephew.
no, yeah, he's the owner.
Okay. I know the nephew from Cheers.
Oh, or Dan Hedaya.
He plays Nick Tortello, and I don't know his real name.
Okay,
Yeah, he plays Carla's ex-husband in Cheers.
okay.
And then in the
Um,
Mindy Project, him and Carla were the one guy's mom or parents.
oh,
I thought that was interesting.
oh, um, yeah. I think he's a pizza shop owner in an ABC Family movie, and he's the villain in Commando, and he is in Searching for Bobby Fischer, and he's the dad in Clueless. Um,
Oh,
he
right.
he's in a lot of stuff, and he's a terrific actor. He's so funny. Um,
Plays a great scumbag. Like you knew when, yeah, you knew when they showed him. Okay, this is going to be one of the bad guys.
and he's somehow redeemable. Like there is something like very likable about him.
Well, he's so good at playing the part, but the character itself isn't that redeemable.
No, yeah, but
Which
there
is
is a kind
another,
of
yeah,
well, like there is like a heart to it, and there is a drive, and he's good at it. Like he gets Henry
yeah.
contracts, and
Well, I'd say
he's
this movie.
successful.
I think the difference. Little Giants has antagonist, and this movie has villains. Is that a fair?
Yeah. So you don't consider
I consider him an antagonist, but he
I
has
I
lots
consider
of.
I consider Spike's dad a villain. Like
He's too
he's
minor
pretty
though.
evil. Like his
Yeah, but
dad's
he's
pretty evil.
but he's too minor. I think
He
he's the sweep the leg
he
guy. Yeah, I mean
he put a bounty on or Devin Sawa on
that's
Junior
true.
Floyd. Okay, okay,
But
okay.
usually in the other movies, in Mighty Ducks, in Karate Kid, it's the bad guy that puts the bounty on the other kid. This is a one-off character.
Yeah,
It's
like
not Ed
he's
O'Neill. In
kind
fact,
of just the henchman. And
yeah,
the thing is, he's not even the henchman. He's the henchman's what the henchman's the henchman's like the other guy who works at the car dealership, or Coach Butts.
yeah. I mean, that guy's just. I mean, Ed O'Neill's the yeah. He's there, but he doesn't do much either. But it gives Ed O'Neill more good moments. When don't do, if you do that again, you're both out of here. So like, he has
Yeah,
integrity. He's got a lot of great moments with the niece. Like he's a caring uncle.
yeah,
He's just a little. The plot of the movie is that he didn't pick her on team just because he's traditional. He's not being an asshole to his niece. He's just he's just a traditional guy, and traditional guys think football should be men only.
and girls have their own sports. Like,
Yeah.
and I am glad that we're in an era like there's a female kicker now. I can't remember which college she plays for, but there is a female kicker.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
That movie Unnecessary Roughness back in the 90s. It's been done before. Nah. It was Kathy Ireland too, wasn't it?
I'm not sure. I didn't see that one. I heard good things.
I'm looking it up real quick. It's necessary. I can't even remember the name.
Oh,
In
oh,
fact, I don't need to look it up. I don't know how to
oh,
spell necessary if it's two C's or I found
oh
it.
no,
It's
no.
Scott Bakula.
Nice, nice.
I think it's Kathy Ireland. Yeah. Oh, Larry Miller's in it. Jason Bateman. Jeez, I have to
That's a good
rewatch
cast.
this. It is
That's
Kathy Ireland as the kicker.
all right.
Fantastic.
That's really cool. That would be really that's and because there is a female kicker now, that's a really current movie for today. Like in today's state,
Mhm.
like they should bring it back.
I would check it out.
Cool.
I think Kathy Ireland might be a bit old for the part, but who knows? She probably still looks great.
um, she could play the coach.
That's true. I think that I don't think she did much acting besides that and the loaded weapon, but
Oh, okay. Which I've just seen bits and pieces of Loaded Weapon with Emilio Estevez and Samuel Jackson.
mhm.
It's interesting. It's very over the top and
I mean I
very
love it.
campy.
Yeah. Well, if you haven't, you said you hadn't seen the Lethal Weapons,
No,
so you haven't seen. Yeah, you have to see the movie that they're parodying first.
okay.
Yeah,
Um,
probably just the first one, but yeah.
and to be honest, like I'm just putting it together now, but it makes sense that they used Emilio Estevez because he was in the Stakeout movies. He was in like another Stakeout, and the final Stakeout.
Plus, it was made by the same people that made Hot Shots, and they had Charlie
Ooh,
Sheen,
there
which
you go.
actually John Lovitz is a character in the Loaded Weapon movie, and he says, "Hey, isn't it funny that Charlie Sheen like so they broke the fourth wall for that one? It was kind of funny."
Yeah, yeah. Um, and that's the type of movie that like would do kind of would use fourth wall jokes. So I think that's really
Oh,
cool.
definitely.
The um, yeah. So kind of just to backtrack a bit. With comparing the two films, uh, I personally have a soft spot for Rookie of the Year just
Okay.
because I love baseball, and in rewatching it, I love how it's shot, and I love the music, and I love the cues, and it is kind of a goofy, over the top movie, and it's kind of like dramatic. It has a really dramatic score to it, and or Bill Conti, who did the music, I think he did a really good job, and it has some really interesting zooms, and there's interesting things with the camera, and I like how it shows all of the character reactions. Like it's big on character reactions. Like it, this movie really like drives home its points, and I wouldn't say heavy-handed, but I'd say it really tries to make its point clear, and it's really big humor. Like it goes for big slapstick. Like it's a very big slapsticky movie,
That's fair.
where Little Giants is slapsticky too, but it's a little grittier. And it's a little darker.
Well, I mean, because would the main character is an adult in one? Would you say who would you say would you say Icebot? Like, because there's a clear main character in Rookie of the Year. Would you
Yeah,
say there's a clear main character in Little Giants?
it
Is
starts
it?
with the boys. Like it starts with the boys. So you could say Ed O'Neill and Rick Moranis, or the because it, that's like that's also a good point of why Little Giants is a stronger film, and I think it is a stronger film
Mhm.
because the kids have more to do. The kids are more likable. It's a really good ensemble piece. In
Yeah,
Rookie of the Year, the kids don't have that much to do.
they got the worst American Pie kid. They there's less about being a kid. Like if you take look at like the romantic interests, which it's like I know there's scenes where it's a little awkward watching them as adults for both of them, but the romantic interest in Rookie of the Year is so blahly done. He's like a normal kid, then he becomes a baseball player, then the girl notices him. She's like, okay, then they just hang out, no problems. Like in Little Giants, you have like a girl who's normally like a tomboy, like going through this journey of like discovering this
Yeah,
like attraction for the first time. Like that
yeah,
is yeah, it was like a probably a pretty unique take on it for
yeah.
that type of movie back in that time.
And a few years ago, I did listen to the audio commentary for Wool Giants, and Shauna Waldron, who played the Icebox, was on the commentary, and she
Oh,
said
cool.
she was dating Spike when they were making the movie. She said like they weren't serious, but they were technically
Well,
like
they
boyfriend girlfriend.
I hope not that serious. They were
Okay.
12. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, she was dating Spike.
Good good on them. Yeah. I don't have that many. Yeah. It's probably adorable at the time.
Yeah. And they were like in middle school. So, in
Mhm.
in in middle school, you date a bit and stuff like that. And but
Maybe
it doesn't
someone
get like
else's middle
serious until
school
later.
experience.
Ha ha ha
Yeah. So not we'll just guess. Yeah, people probably dated in middle school. I wasn't one of them, but
ha.
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't either. I asked the girl out. She said no, but she already had
Hey,
a boyfriend. So there you go.
Wayne Gretzky, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, right?
Wayne Gretzky, or rest in peace.
He's
Was it?
still alive.
I thought he died.
No,
I
that would
think
have
he.
been bigger news. No, that wouldn't have just slipped by me. No, Wayne Gretzky's still alive, right?
I thought he died. No, I think he died recently.
I born. No, he's still alive.
Oh, I
You might
apologize.
be thinking Gordie Howe. Gordie Howe died recently.
Okay, Wayne Gretzky, if you're listening
Yeah,
or if you watch this somehow, I apologize. I'm sorry. Okay.
he seems like a nice he seems like a nice guy. He'll forgive you.
Okay.
but yeah, what other is there? Yeah, so I didn't. I called her a star effer, the one from the love interest from Rookie of the Year. Although I did know like on the IMDb that she was in the Mighty Ducks movies
Yup,
too. So
she was the goalie. She was uh, Joey the cat. Um, she came in the second, and she was in the third one too.
nice. Yeah, I know
Yeah,
I have access to all of them now.
cool, man. Yeah, the third Mighty Ducks in particular is pretty underrated. I think I like the third one a little bit more than the second one, to be honest with you.
It's yeah, I'd have to rewatch them. I like I had to do with these. I remembered nothing about them.
Okay. Um, yeah, let's see, Rookie of the Year. I think Barry Bonds has a cameo, but outside of that, they didn't get too many star players or too many slow. Like they kind of made up their own players. Like
Uh-huh.
all the
Which
Cubs are made up. The Mets are made up. Like
I
Hato is not an actual player.
I knew that. I mean, well, that was another thing. I mean, that's another one that Little Giants obviously wins the actual athlete cameos. I did
That was
find it funny,
terrific.
yeah,
That was
that
terrific.
he had a like an arch nemesis batter, but they show him strike out the greatest hitter of all time. But it's this overweight white guy like that looks like he's in his mid 40s that that poses the biggest threat to this kid. Thought that was a thought that was a nice touch.
Yeah. Um, like I do have to give Daniel Stern props. Like Rookie of the Year is really funny. Um, uh, I, but I think I'm also watching it with nostalgia glasses because
That's
I
fair.
first saw it when I was like 10. So, I think Little Giants is a little bit more emotionally affecting and
Mm,
kind of like tugs at your heartstrings a little bit because you do kind of feel for the kids. Like these Ed O'Neill's just like, you guys suck. You're not going to play on my team, you know.
mhm.
And
I
Rick
mean,
Moranis is, I, I kind of feel like Rick Moranis deep down. I think he feels the same way, but
mhm.
but yeah, because how would his daughter get so good if he didn't push her? So like that's another way to look at it. And it would make sense that he would have a winning team because like clearly he knows how to win. He just wasn't that athletic. Like
Yeah,
he just wasn't like that good at sports. But um he definitely had the insights and uh you know
I do agree with you halfway. I do think that
okay.
it is. I think it is a better heartstring tugger, but I also think it's funnier. So
Okay, 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 okay.
yeah, I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay.
I
Okay.
just I think the Thomas Ian whatever his name is.
Yep. Thomas Ian or Nichols. Or
Yeah,
Nicholas.
I think he's worse than literally every kid in the Little Giants as far as delivery, physical comedy, which is a big part. Like I know he was only bumbling briefly before he became professional pitcher guy, but he was so bad at like the physical comedy aspect. I thought like the kids at Little Giants were all pretty like the really nerdy kid who's the only one I recognized as an actor. He was on Scrubs for like the last two seasons.
Oh. Was it the kid who draws up the plays?
No,
Was
no,
the kid
no. They're just like they're really like the asthmatic, like the one with all the health problems.
Oh, that kid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was an intern in one of those later Scrub seasons.
Okay.
Other than that, I don't recognize any of the kids. I
Okay.
hear the name Devin Sawa. I think he's something now, but honestly, I don't know who that is. I heard.
He was in Final Destination. He was in Casper.
Okay, I don't know. Okay, I don't know him as an adult, I guess, which I guess is the Final Destinations. I hear the name Devin Sawa. I think she sounds hot, but then, yeah, but yeah, I just besides what I said, the announcement, the announcer, I just think
Yeah.
the
And
other
you do
ones,
have
it's
to
just
give John Candy props. Like, he's wonderful.
mhm, is actually. I mean, so you're a baseball fan.
Yes,
Would
sir.
you say it gets the baseball aspect of it correctly?
Uh,
As much as it could be with a little kid pitching to grown men.
it looks good. It's definitely cartoony, but
Okay.
you could pair it with like Space Jam. For honestly, the baseball stuff, they do a really good job with it.
Okay. Because
Uh,
oh, I hated the foot. I There was a lot about the football aspect as a football fan that I did not like about Little Giants. Like at the very end, when Ed O'Neill said, "Wait, they know the play call," and then he let them run the play, and then right after that, they showed that he had a timeout left. If you have a timeout, call it when you know they know your play and call a different play. Just so, like little things like that. I know it's a nitpick, and little kids watching these movies, as they are intended for, will not notice something like that.
yeah, no, yeah. Um, that's a really good point, Dave. Um, like, yeah, I watch a lot of audio commentaries, and there's a Simpsons episode, the Lisa on Ice, which I think was written by Mike Scully. And they say in the audio commentary, his friends gave him a lot of crap because during the penalty shots, they left the clock running, and they said, "You don't leave
Right.
the clock running during penalty shots." Okay. Okay.
I mean, it's little attentions to detail like that. But other than that, like, because that's from the one that was a football superstar. He should have known.
Yeah. That is a good point. Uh, yeah. Yeah, I was kind of too young for Married with Children, but in watching in reruns, I think Ed O'Neill's great. I
Oh,
think he's a really good actor.
that was my favorite show as a kid.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that and Seinfeld. Yeah, I was able to watch all the inappropriate stuff as a child, and it hasn't rubbed off on me today.
Oh, okay. Okay. No, no. Okay. um, yeah. No, but in watching Married with Children, it's amazing how clever it is. Like, and such good comedic timing. Like,
Hmm.
incredibly. And Fox's network was way ahead of other shows.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, plus that's a show, and you don't see like besides until I noticed it recently with Atlanta, and then when you mention it now, it's a show where 75% of the main cast moved on to become pretty big things. Usually with a lot of sitcoms, it's one person something. Like they're doing with Atlanta now. That show has four movie stars now out of it. But yeah, Christina Apple, like all of them
Yeah.
went on to do pretty good things. And then there's Bud. But other than that,
Yeah. Um, I think he hosted like TV game shows and stuff like that. So
my
he went
points
that route.
my point stands then.
Okay. Yeah, but TV hosts get paid pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I would most 90 something percent of the country would switch. But if you're on a hit TV show, that's going down.
Mm.
in
Gotcha.
my opinion. I mean, if you're,
Gotcha.
you're making a living, fucking who am I to judge? But from where you are, yeah.
Yeah, but it's also tough to make that leap from child actor to like professional actor, and a lot of child actors do struggle with that transition. That's why a lot of them do
Mm.
go to graduate school so they can get like a good degree. And um
And yeah, I'm not sorry. I'm just saying.
no, no,
I'm
no,
just
no,
saying he
no,
didn't become
no.
a star, a superstar like the other three. But
Yeah.
he's probably a nice person. He's probably doing very well for himself.
Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
And as I said, 90 some percent of the world would switch places with him in a heartbeat, comparatively.
No, that's a good point. And also a good point that you make it the world and not just the US, because oh,
90, yeah,
because if you look at the
98%.
whole world, then it's like huge.
Mm-hmm. True.
Yeah. Some countries don't even have TV or
That's
electricity. Well,
okay. So make it 98%. We'll go.
or maybe not like whole countries, but specific regions of countries don't have electricity.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
All right. Yeah. David Faustino, is that your
Dave
name?
Faustino.
Yeah.
Yep,
All right. We
Or JD Faustino, or yeah.
David, I think. Yeah.
Okay,
We bow before you.
yes, sir.
You are a
Yep.
god amongst insects.
Oh, um, yeah. So this was an interesting tangent, but for everyone who is like lost now, Ed O'Neill was in a very good show called uh we're Married with Children, which was on late 80s, early 90s on Fox. And Katie Sagal was on the show, Christina Applegate. So really talented cast. And Ed O'Neill, you can see him on or Modern or Family now. Um,
Reruns. Yeah.
yeah. But Little Giants was a good movie for him. He was in the movie. He was in. He was in Dutch as well, which never saw that.
Me neither.
Wasn't really on TV that much.
No. Yeah. I think I had a roommate that talked about it a lot, but
Oh yeah.
never really got into it.
Okay.
I think I ran around my 20s, but I didn't appreciate nostalgia as much as my 20s. Like that was kid stuff. I didn't want to, yeah. I would probably enjoy it now, approaching my 40s, than I did in my 20s. So
um. Um. Okay. So we have been jumping around a lot.
true.
I'm going to give you the floor, Dave. What main points do you want to discuss about each film, or what would you like to compare about each film that really kind of like stood out to you, like something that you liked or something you really didn't like?
Well, okay. There was I covered the comedy,
Okay.
the which I just preferred it. There's just actual three-dimensional villains or antagonists, as I said earlier,
Mm,
for Little Giants. While they had two villains in Rookie of the Year,
yeah.
one was just like a greedy guy. The other one, well, I had some problems with how they handled that. Like you could tell it was Bruce Altman.
Yo, oh, he's so funny. And he's so great.
You can tell he's gonna be a bad guy. Just he looks like that. He just has that look. But like the scene, that was one of my least, like the scene where they kind of revealed him to be the bad guy. I could have sighed, like they showed him just staring menacingly while his girlfriend is romantically dancing with another guy. Like, we can't get why he's pissed off looking right there. Like the way the shot was framed, like, okay, this guy's up to no good, but he was perfectly justified in sitting there looking angry.
And
If
nothing
if you
against Gary Busey, but the fact that he's the one that like steals the love interest is really surprising.
that
But I
didn't
guess he
age
was
well.
considered a
Yeah.
heartthrob in the day. So
I he had to have been past it at this point. But yeah, well, that was there's stuff that didn't age well in both of them. Um, setting your mom up to date Gary Busey is one of them. Um, the amount that they let the kids run around unsupervised in Chicago. I mean, I know in the '90s you kids did just go, but that clearly didn't age well now.
they don't do
Um,
that now. No.
yeah. Um, the commercial director telling the kid to be more sexy,
Uh,
bad. That probably wasn't good at the time, but that's
no.
definitely bad now.
It's really bad now. Yeah.
Yeah, him getting changed in the locker room with the grown-ups, bad.
Yeah.
Uh,
But it's directed by Daniel Stern, and he's pretty dark sensibilities. Like, he's in Home Alone and Home Alone 2, which is like
they
really
those were
dark
well,
films,
yeah.
actually.
I mean, if you think about it, it is two grown men and their constant attempt to murder a child. But I guess it's directed in such a light way that you don't realize that if you explain that
Uh,
plot to someone, it's terrible.
oh yeah,
But it's directed in such a lighthearted way that you don't get that sense that
yeah,
this kid's going to get murdered in this movie.
yeah.
But those scenes
Um,
did, yeah. So the scenes in this movie definitely stood out to me as gross.
okay, yeah. The When he's filming the Pepsi commercial and direct, yeah,
Yeah,
and the
bad.
dancers too, and it's like burlesque and
Yeah, I'm surprised they
yeah.
cut so much stuff off off streaming sites now. They've taken entire episodes of shows off for way less, and they didn't edit that out. It's not such a banger of a line that it alters the movie in any way if you remove the guy telling the kid to be sexy.
I think they should just cut out that whole sequence, or I don't know, like.
It's fine, yeah. Or
Mm,
yeah, just cut up like he was like playing a piano, and that was like whatever.
nah,
Yeah, there's the director telling him to be sexy. That could go. That
you can't say that to a 12-year-old.
yeah, that
You can't.
and I don't think the other one I did. Let's see. I mean, they did the most off-putting thing was like the Jack and Becky. There was like scenes of weird tension between the two of them, but that's more nitpicky. That could probably be construed as sweet to some people.
Yeah, and I think Bruce Altman is really funny in it, and it makes sense that he's in a Daniel Stern movie because Daniel Stern obviously has goofy and like quirky sensibilities, and Bruce Altman is kind of a quirky villain who's just kind
Mhm.
of a try hard type person. Like he just tries really hard, but you know, when the kid even says like "Mom, not Jack Bradfield," the kid knows there's only so much this guy can do. So
Mhm. That's fair.
and for that, I kind of feel for him, honestly. Like he is kind of a vulnerable character who's just in a really vicious cycle that's just kind of a lose-lose
Yeah. I mean,
situation.
if you
So
go in depth on him, like that's taking your own like the movie itself presents him as kind of two-dimensional.
yeah,
You're doing a good character study breakdown. I think like general public will just see him as two-dimensional villain.
yeah.
But hey,
Where
it's a kids movie. It doesn't need. Yeah.
yeah, because I think like Chet Stedman, like the Gary Busey character, is like kind of a villain, like kind of. He has his moments.
Chet Stedman is Gary Busey's
Yup,
character.
yup, yeah, he's Gary Busey.
That's one of the lines because I have his name written down here. But one of the lines that didn't make sense to me, like, because he wanted to get Chet away from the kid
yeah,
because he didn't want him to be around the mom because he was jealous. So he said, "You got to get rid of Chet Stedman." But that's already after they traded the kid to New York.
I know.
So he
Yeah,
wouldn't.
that
Yeah,
kind of bothered me too. Yeah, that actually also bothered me. Um, because it doesn't make sense. Like, because
exactly.
why would it matter
Yeah, they're on
unless
different teams.
he commutes? Like, unless they still live in Chicago, then which or uh, the Yankee trade didn't happen yet, or well, the Yankee trade did happen. So then, why is it an issue? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if that was just something I didn't. If there was weird baseball rules there that I didn't get. So.
Yeah, I I do know that sometimes players don't necessarily move to to the to the cities or the states that they get traded to. Like sometimes they do maintain their home and residence. So
Well,
I
that was
guess
also the mom's fault too. She didn't go over that contract at all.
no.
Other than that, yeah. Other than that, and letting her kid run around Chicago, she was a good mom. But
Uh,
those are two pretty huge things.
yeah.
I mean, no trade clause.
I guess, and they don't really get into what she does for a living. I guess she works as a florist because they show her in like a flower shop, right? So
Oh,
I guess she's a florist.
okay. I vaguely remember that. Yeah,
Oh
it doesn't matter.
no,
She's got a
no.
baseball player kid. I'm surprised she didn't quit right away.
Yeah, because he got sold to the Yankees for big money. Wasn't it like 5 million or something? Which in '93, that was big, big money.
It's max contract, right? Yeah.
Yeah. But you make a really good point in saying like a lot of the characters in Rookie of the Year are kind of two-dimensional, but I guess they are like the Daniel Stern character is like straight out of sketch comedy. Like
Hmm.
he is a sketch comedy character, and
They there was
yeah,
another one like the little league coach he had at the beginning. I thought that could have been hilarious, but they didn't really put a
I thought
name
that coach
actor
was
on that.
funny. Yeah, I thought that coach was really funny actually.
I think if you had like a better comedic presence, I don't know. He just because he was over the top too, but I don't know if the guy was up to the task.
Um, he kind of seemed kind of mean too. Like when he's like, I don't want to hear about like he talks about like or Windermere, one of the kids on the team having the asthma. He's like, I don't want to hear about any of like the asthma either. Like
Oh, I don't remember that. Yeah, that's probably a
you
suable
can't say
offense
that
these
to a
days.
kid.
Yeah,
You can't say that to a kid.
in the '90s you could, I guess. I don't know.
Uh-huh. Um. Yeah. Um. Yeah. I think Will Jones just has kind of more depth to it because you kind of see the insides of the kids' lives. Like you get to actually meet their
Mhm.
parents. Um, you meet them at like the team event, and then the parents show up to the game. You know, the parents are in the stands, and the parents come to practice, and the dads, you know, help out, and like they play with toilet paper, like the train and stuff.
Mhm. Exactly. Oh, there was
um,
one other thing. Oh, I did miss one non-aging well point of Little Giants though.
okay.
The amount of fat shaming they do on the one kid.
Oh,
They
Zoltek,
don't. Yeah, they don't
the
do that. These
lineman.
they don't do that to these in comedies these days. That they've moved away from that.
Yeah, like they do the fart humor with him and they do the fat jokes and the eating. And even though I think like it, it, they do give him a little bit more to do, and like he
Hmm.
does care about stuff. And he beat his brothers in the dunk toss at the fair, and he has the good moment with one one of the pros where he
Oh, he knocks
tackles,
him over.
yeah, he tackles one of the pros. Like, so he has a few good moments.
Well, yeah, every kid does have a chance to shine. I did like that.
That's great about Little Giants. It's terrific.
Except it was weird to me, the one kid, the Johnny, who
Johnny,
his
yeah.
dad, why didn't his dad enter the stadium where everyone else did? Why is he walking in at the end zone where Johnny runs to him? But that's a little nitpick too. I know. I find all of them. There's clearly an entrance to that stadium, but
Mm.
Johnny's dad just shows up at the back of the end zone. Come on.
The assistant director was like, "We really need you in this shot." So
Yeah.
there you go. Okay, okay.
But yeah, I thought that was like they so they that was like, because they were on this, it was like team, so they were on the same team, they were able to forge a relationship. I thought the relationships in Rookie of the Year sucked again. It's like
I kind of
I
agree.
already
The
com- I
character
already
development in Rookie Year is non-existent. Like all of
I
them are
already yeah,
sketches.
I complained about the love interest. There was the rift amongst friendship that was also pretty much unnecessary.
Yeah,
Like he had an argument, and then the next scene, now we're cool. Like it had
yeah.
nothing to do with anything that happened.
And you don't know that much about the friends. George and Clark,
Hmm.
they show up, and
Yeah.
they hang out on the boat. They go to the Cubs game. They keep score at for Henry's team. They show up in the cafeteria. Like
Then they get mad once, and then they're
it
fine.
feels TV show. It feels Wonder Years actually, which makes sense because Daniel Stern did the adult voice on the Wonder Years. So like
That's fair.
that cafeteria scene was straight out of the Wonder Years, which makes sense because only a few years removed, I think Wonder Years was still on the air in '93. So, you know, Daniel Stern truly playing into that. Where Rookie Year does kind of feel like a TV show, which makes sense why they would reboot it as a TV show because it does have that kind of sitcom-y. I don't want to use the word schmarmy, but a
It's a good word.
little cloying, a little saccharine,
Is
a
this
little
a complete
empty.
is this a complete reboot, or is it like the Mighty Ducks thing, which I haven't gotten, or like Cobra Kai?
Um,
Is it a sequel, or are they going to have Thomas whatever?
no, it's its own thing. It has a whole
Okay,
new Henry Roan Gardner.
he'll probably make
Like
a cameo.
he
I don't
might.
think he's
He,
doing.
he
I
he
don't
should
think he's
show up as
done.
the dad. He should show
Yeah,
up
he
as the
hasn't.
dad.
He hasn't done too much since American Pie, right?
No,
American Pie two,
he's in the
3, 4.
sequels. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, the reunion, and then they did the band camp, which was on TBS, which Eugene Levy was in, because I guess Eugene Levy doesn't say no. So there you go.
he's the only
Um,
one that's been in something super successful of the main cast, though.
Schitt's Creek, big deal.
I'm trying. Yeah, Jason Biggs. Yeah, he could have been in on that Orange Is the New Black, and he bailed after a season or two. That's the
Yeah,
biggest thing I think any of those guys were involved in afterward. Harold and
yeah,
Kumar. I don't know, but
yeah. I think Jason Biggs. I think he does stuff now. I think he does produce. I think.
yeah. I mean, we thought he was a thing for a little. He never became huge, and he probably had the world. Even Stifler's kind of disappeared. He kind of
Yeah,
has the
Sean William
world in his.
Scott. Like there was a time when he was in a lot of movies.
I know he was in Role Models, which is one of my favorites.
It's really funny. Yeah. With
True.
Paul Rudd, who was also in Clueless, which we
Hmm.
briefly referenced with Dan Hedaya, but
Everything circles back.
Paul Rudd's great, and he's in the new Ghostbusters movie, which work in a movie theater, so I periodically see parts
Oh,
of the Ghostbusters movie.
I saw opening Saturday afternoon.
Okay.
I wasn't in love with it, but I know a lot of people were. I will leave everyone to their own judgments.
Okay. For me, it feels Spielbergian. It feels J.J. Abramsy. It feels
Is
like
JJ
Stranger
Abramsy
Things.
good? Is JJ Abramsy a compliment? I don't know if I consider it a compliment anymore.
Uh, depends who you talk to. Like, uh, he has his hands in both pies, like Star Trek and Star Wars. Like,
I mean,
that's
and he ruined one of those pies, in my opinion. And I've never been a big fan of the other. I've never been a big fan of the other pie. So now there's two pies that I don't love, and I love pie. I will argue pie over cake with anyone, but those are not good pies right now. I'm sorry. I hate the sequel trilogy. I hate it, hate it, hate it.
Oh man.
Sorry. You saw me in a rare moment of weakness. I will
Yeah. Let's see. So, hmm, we probably should wrap soon,
Okay.
but I do agree. Like, it seems like we've kind of been dancing around that Will Giants has aged a lot better than Rookie of the Year. Like, a lot of the Rookie Year stuff's outdated. Some of it's offensive. It's kind of more sitcom sketch, which makes sense why it could get rebooted into a TV show. Like, definitely.
Agreed.
Where Will
And
Giants kind of works as its own entity. And I, I definitely consider the classic. I know the director Dwayne Dunham. He did other stuff. He does a phenomenal job with Will Giants. It's excellently shot.
I don't agree. I don't think it should be reboot. I don't think you can
Okay.
catch that lightning in a bottle with just two heavy hitters like that with Ed O'Neill and Rick Moranis.
Yeah. Um.
I mean, he's basically a version of a more successful version of Al Bundy. You could imagine that guy throwing 4 touchdowns in one. Yeah.
Yeah. Ed O'Neill is so good in it. Like, his line ratings are just out of the like, just like perfect timing, and
Mhm.
like, and he has girls, and he's still so chauvinistic, which is interesting. Like, it's interesting that he's such a chauvinist even though he has girls. But
I mean, yeah, but he's still like a good dad and a good uncle.
yeah, good dad, good uncle,
Yeah.
and he's like, you can be cheerleaders. Okay.
I mean, well, this is a movie where he's what in his 40s in the 90s, so
Yeah,
that's it's partially the time he grew up in.
it's
He
true.
probably
Yeah,
is a lot like his and Rick Moranis' dad, who they don't show, but I
yeah,
assume he's probably like that.
yeah.
But yeah, he's got a lot. He's got the best. I mean, I think he's the MVP of the movie. He's got the best. He's got the funniest lines. He
Oh
gets me
yeah.
right off the get go. Where he asks, "What are they? Cheese puffs or cheese doodles?" Or something like cheese puffs.
Ah,
Wimp. Just great stuff. Yeah, he's great as an asshole. He's great
yeah, the
as
crunchier Cheetos
yeah
are the crunchier puffed. It's so
yeah.
good. That, that's an amazing line, and it still holds up too. Like, that's a dated reference that still holds up. So
Mhm. Yeah. But I mean, yeah, Rick Moranis is great in it too.
oh yeah, he's wonderful.
And the kids are just yeah. As I said, every one of those kids is better than the Rookie of the Year kid.
They're so likable.
Yeah,
I'd say
they're
with the
right.
exception of the cowboy kid. I was not a huge fan of the cowboy kid. The kid who has like the cowboy hat and he's on like the horse and
Because he was like the bully kid, and then he kind of got pushed to the aside because Spike became the bully kid.
oh no.
Oh, oh wait,
Talking about
oh
Sean
oh,
Murphy.
Sean, oh, you mean one of the on the little on the Giants team?
Yeah, he's on one
But
of
he
he's
was
the
a
kid who's on the horse.
okay. I'm drawing a little bit of a blank. I watched these what 2 weeks ago.
Oh.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's okay.
that's fine. Yeah, I'll take your word.
Okay. Yeah, actually, and the boys are much better in Little Giants than they are in Rookie of the Year. Like in Rookie of the Year, like it's just like kids
Mhm.
on the baseball team that are just kind of dicks. Okay.
The one compliment I can give to Thomas, whatever his name
Yep.
is,
Thomas
uh,
in Nichols.
he's mostly terrible, but he's pretty good at getting his voice to crack at opportune moments. I thought, like when he
Yeah.
addresses the team for the first time, like "Hi," like that thing going on. Like,
Yeah.
so he was good at playing those. Other than that,
Yeah.
eh,
Like one of my favorite lines in the movie is when like after his mom punches Bruce Altman, he's like, all right, mom,
yeah.
just and it's so over the top and it's so forced, but at the same time, it's fine. And like it's forced, but he believes it. And you do believe that he hated Jack Bradfield. So
That's true.
yeah,
Oh,
okay, okay.
I had one other good thing to say about that one though, and and that I think that covered all my. When he's playing pranks on the other team, the person that he's playing the pranks with is the janitor from Scrubs, who just plays pranks that entire show. So I thought that was kind of fun. That was kind of neat. Neil Flynn
Yes, who was also on Saturday Night Live.
as like a regular.
I think so. Um,
He, I don't remember that. I
uh,
don't remember that.
yeah, I know he was in an episode of Seinfeld, and I think he was on SNL. I think he
I know.
was because I
Yeah, sure.
remember thinking that it was very clever that he and Anna Gasteyer were both in Mean Girls as the parents because they were both in SNL.
I didn't. I don't remember. I know he had that show, The Middle, afterward. I don't remember him on
Um,
us. Like he might have been. I guess a feature play.
um,
Was this? So it wasn't even the '90s because Scrubs came out in like
let's
2000.
see. I'm gonna look it
So,
up.
but Anna Gasteyer, Scrubs came out in 2000, and Anna Gasteyer was on like the 2000s cast. So I that so he was like maybe he did
Oh,
both.
I must have gotten it wrong.
That's
Yeah, he wasn't on SNL. Yeah, he was on Scrubs, The Middle, that '70s show, guest
huh.
appearances on like Smallville.
I I don't remember him on that '70s show, and I've never seen Smallville, even though I'm upset at myself about that.
I think you'd really enjoy
That
Smallville.
now that I think about it, that'd be on HBO Max, wouldn't it? Nah, I can look that up later.
Okay, on Hulu too.
Okay, yeah, I have both of them, but I'll check the one without commercials first. I'm so spoiled now.
uh, yeah, honestly, like, I have like a million streaming services now, and it's like, which one am I going to watch today? There's just so many to choose from. Streaming service Tubi and Pluto TV are two I've gotten into recently that I think they're both free. So for everyone listening, if you need a streaming service,
Are they
Tubi
like
or Pluto
Crackle where it
TV.
looks like VCR quality?
Oh man.
Because we did
Um.
90s sitcoms, and I wanted to check out Spin City again, and that
Oh
was the
yeah.
only thing that was available on it. My God, it was so bad looking,
Oh
and it's
man.
such a non-user friendly interface or whatever.
Oh. Crackle.
Yeah, I hope this show isn't brought to you by Crackle, but
No,
no, it's okay.
no. Um. At the same time, if you're looking to sponsor us, Crackle, we
You're great.
do support you.
Thank you for bringing Spin City back into my life.
um, and just another Michael J. Fox reference. Did you ever see that movie?
I meant news radio, but yes.
Life with
Sorry.
Mikey.
I did not. No.
Okay. That is a Christmas movie.
Okay.
So kind of this is being filmed around Christmas time, around the holidays. Actually, getting to your podcast, are you and Dan going to do a holiday? You guys are doing Christmas songs.
Tomorrow night, we are recording Christmas songs.
Okay.
Which I actually have to listen to a bunch. I have like 3 on my list right now.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's our holiday episode.
Cool, man.
Technically, we filmed our zombie episode on Halloween. We just released it last week.
Okay.
But that counts as our Halloween episode. Yeah, I guess it's the first time we've been doing it because we don't like do it every year. We kind of just been like, all right, let's take like 5 months off and then jump into another season. We don't have like a strict schedule.
Yeah.
But it's fun. Check it out. And we'll get you on sometime.
Oh, that would be great. I would be honored.
We thought about bringing you for 90s sports movies, but I'm kind of burnt out on talking about that. Okay. So we'll get a different topic. If you have any ideas, throw them our way.
Yeah, I still need to get Dan on the podcast again for a part 2 because we looked at a few movies and we talked a lot about music.
He's good. He's good with the music.
Oh yeah.
I just listen and know if I like it. He can get very much more in depth about it than I can.
Oh man. Yeah. So possibly in January for a January episode could have Dan in an episode because we were going to talk about the movies Sugar and Spice and this teen pageant movie, which I can't remember what it's called, but it's Kirsten Dunst and Denise Richards.
I don't know. I'm kind of interested though.
Okay. It's really good and really dark, like super, super dark. Like this movie is if you take your comedy black. Like this is a very dark comedy. Like
that's how I take my comedy.
Like,
yeah.
Okay. Like this is like just like dark, which so dark I honestly don't want to watch it again. So okay, but dark in a good way that it's very funny, but also really unsavory.
I mean, that's you've checked all my boxes. I definitely want to check it out.
Yeah. Yeah. So closing thoughts on Rookie of the Year and Little Giants.
Okay. If you're gonna watch one of them, Little Giants is the way to go. But I am saying, like, yeah, it's got better grown-up humor. It's probably got better kid humor. It's got better performances. You got 2 90s comedy icons at the top of their game.
Yeah.
You have, yeah, the other one has a 90s comedy icon at the bottom of his game. I think just don't watch it as a movie fan, not a football fan. That might upset you. But other than that, yeah, I enjoyed one considerably more than the other.
Yeah. But I guess it's also what you grew up with and like nostalgia, and also like you said you like football, you're a football guy and you're not as into
Well,
baseball.
but in the 90s, actually, my dad mostly brought me to hockey and baseball games.
Okay.
And now I'm into basketball and football. I don't think there's any psychological thing there. It's just what I prefer. But like, just I just enjoy watching them more. I don't. It's not me taking anything out on anyone. But like, I was a baseball fan in the 90s when Rookie of the Year came out.
Okay. The Phillies were also really good in '93. When they got the World Series.
That's true. That makes me feel like, but I still okay. I did watch the Sixers throughout the entire process, so I'm not I don't jump ship when my team is bad. I think baseball, it just got too boring for me.
Yeah. There was a stretch where the Phillies were really bad too. Like, uh,
But they
they
won the
did
World
break the
Series,
record
yeah.
for most losses ever. Like, okay.
Well, but they won the World Series, and I didn't jump back on when they did that. I didn't
Okay.
go to any parade just to go to a party. I was like, no, I
Okay.
wasn't with them for that journey. I'm not getting in on the celebration.
That is fair.
Yeah.
Like, I've, to keep it baseball, keep it Cubs related. I knew a Cubs fan who said, like, even when they won the World Series, he said they were too bad, so I gave up on them and I didn't get back on. So there you go.
Yeah. It's how it goes sometimes. They won the World Series in this movie too, right? And they were still habitual losers at this point, right?
I think they got to the World Series, but they didn't win.
I thought it was a headline at the end. There was like a headline on a newspaper.
Oh, okay.
Might want to double
Because
check. Yeah.
I know that it was the pennant game, which was like the penultimate.
That's what that means. Okay. I don't even know what the baseball terms are. So when
Oh,
they won the pennant means they make it to the World Series.
yeah, that means they get the World
Okay.
Series. I'm not sure if it means penultimate. It might. It kind of does.
I forgot. I forgot in baseball they celebrate winning every series like it's the World Series, and that annoys me. Like they won a divisional playoff round. Act like you've been there before. Sorry.
Oh man. Yeah, but in base it's one of the harder sports to get to the playoffs though in baseball. Like, they're making it easier with having more wild cards, but
Yeah,
in
they're doing that in football
basketball,
too,
a lot
and
of the teams
basketball.
get in basketball. A lot of the teams get in hockey.
Well, they've changed basketball and football playoffs in the past 2 years for both of them.
Oh yeah.
So now there's 6 guaranteed playoff spots, and 4 teams get to play in a little tournament before the
Oh,
playoffs in basketball. And in
okay.
football, this year they just added a 7th playoff team to each conference.
Okay.
So the first seed gets a bye through the first round of the playoffs.
Okay.
Which
I I honestly think it's good. Like, I think it's good to
I don't.
level
It
the
makes
playing field more.
it makes mediocre teams like the Eagle. Like I guess it makes the Eagles. The Eagles are mediocre this year and shouldn't be a playoff team, and they're kind of in the running right now, and they really shouldn't be. Like I hate. I know I might have to get my Eagles card revoked, but I'd rather this. Yeah, it's whatever. They're not gonna. They'll make it maybe, maybe not, and they'll get embarrassed. What are you gonna do?
And I know as a Philadelphia native, it's kind of blasphemy to say this, but the Cowboys are going to make the playoffs. The Cowboys are going to win the division. Yeah.
100%, but they're not going to do much in the playoffs either because
Hmm.
they're choke artists.
Um,
And Tom Brady's still alive.
you think Tampa
All the
Bay is going to
greatest,
do it again?
all the greatest players are still alive. Sorry, that's a from Gretzky to Brady.
Gretzky to Brady. Yep. And uh, in case you're still with us, Wayne Gretzky, he is still alive.
Yes.
Okay. So again,
I
Wayne Gretzky,
yeah.
I apologize for getting that wrong.
I'm not going to go on record on this making predictions because I tried gambling for the first time this year, and it turns out that I am very bad at it. So,
Uh, did you do
although,
sports gambling or like
yeah,
at
yeah,
like a
that's what
casino?
I meant. Yeah, I meant sports gambling, which is another
Okay.
thing Little Giants got wrong. They got the point spread wrong.
Oh
They
yeah.
favored the Cowboys. They favored the Cowboys plus 46. If they're the favorite, it's minus 46.
Yeah,
Just another little thing.
that didn't sound right either. Uh, now I do like the small town thing that Old Giants has going on, opposed to like the big city that
Mhm.
Rookie of the Year does. Because Rookie of the Year is kind of like parties, like Chicago, big, 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 big. Old
Small
Giants
town,
is
yeah.
like small town heart.
You can really like bring it to like it's. I've always enjoyed stuff like that, like bringing a town to life. Like, yeah, so Chicago, it has to be Chicago. The town could be anything. Like that's why, like, yeah, like about the
Yeah.
Simpsons, like the Simpsons it's been on so long that it's like a town you could live in now, because if you go through every episode and pick out every store and every house, like you could probably make your own town out of that.
And that's really cool. Like it
Mhm.
does have like a timelessness to it, and or it has like the everyman, or it's like the every place. Like it's not this like big off limits exclusive place that only a few people get to live in. And it's like anyone can live in the Simpsons town.
True.
Not everyone can live in this city that's in rookie year, probably. I don't know. Okay.
I mean, I hear the news. Who'd want to? But sorry.
That's okay.
Is that going to be edited?
Uh,
Play it by ear. Okay.
okay. Yeah. Yeah. I personally like rookie year more just because I I kind of have a soft spot for it, but I think Little Giants is a better film in pretty much every way. So, and this was Daniel Stern's directorial debut. Like, uh, like so you got to come some slack with that, and I think for a first effort, I think he did a really good job. So
Yeah, I have no problems with the direction.
cool.
Yeah, they're both watchable. I should,
Yeah,
I should, I mean, I like one so much better than the other. I make it sound like I hate the other, but they're both watchable movies. I guess I could, that could be my final thought.
yeah.
If you have time for one, though, Little Giants.
Yeah. Um, yeah. And I guess if you can include a recommendation for another 90s kids movie, sports, what would it be?
Uh, I probably your kids' movies. You said right,
Yeah.
so that takes out Varsity Blues and
Yeah.
Necessary Roughness. Uh,
Although,
probably
check that
Mighty
out.
Ducks. Yeah, probably Mighty Ducks. Switch it up. Get it. Try to. Let's see if I could do one for every sport. I don't know if there is a basketball one. Space Jam. So they all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So every. Yeah. We're covering all four sports, assuming Slapshot isn't a kids movie. I think there's nudity in that, so definitely not.
Uh,
But
I think kids could watch it. Like I saw an Animal House when I was like 12, and the
well, we might have had cooler parents than the ones that are around now. Because I saw it too when I was a kid. My mom, yeah, I think my mom loved that movie. So
um,
Gesundheit.
thank you very much. Like to be honest, like there's one scene in particular, Animal House, where like there's nudity and also it's like really explicit. And
The Devil
my mom
Angel.
was like, "Okay, put your hands over your eyes, Drew." I'm like, "Okay."
Are you talking the Devil Angel scene?
No, not that one. That one I didn't actually figure that scene. I didn't know what was happening,
Fair.
which good in retrospect. I'm glad I had no knowledge of what was happening because
It's
uh,
probably, yeah, it's probably not good for a 12-year-old to know.
or,
That's yeah, okay.
yeah, like
What
that
assault
one
was it?
just kind of went over my head. Uh, it was more of like the female masturbation scene where John Belushi is
Cla-
watching, which
Classic.
you don't see that in a lot of movies either. Like you don't even see that in movies today. Like,
Well, they don't. It stopped around the '90s. We're using nudity for humor. I don't. You don't see that in like. You don't see rated like that in rated R comedies anymore. Maybe like the
mm,
last was like The Hangover. Other than that,
mm,
yeah, that's something that comedies have gotten away from.
yeah, I think getting
They've
away
gotten away from
from
a lot of things.
I think getting away from the nudity is good. To be honest, because it shouldn't be something that you make fun of, and it shouldn't be something that you're scared of. Like, I feel like that it just perpetuates body image stereotypes to make fun of it. So, um, which you made a good joke about Little Giants, and they did a lot of fat kid humor, which that's something that hasn't aged well, and it's something that you know filmmakers and directors are getting better at not including that now because they want to be more inclusive,
Well,
n-
yeah,
just kind of nicer and more
yeah, but
more
I mean,
sophisticated humor.
wouldn't you say the rated R comedy is kind of a dying genre? I can't remember the last rated R comedy that I call like an instant classic.
Uh, for
Been a
me, just
few.
kind of the Judd Apatow stuff, like knocked up Pineapple Express, like
Those movies are from 15 years ago though.
it's true.
Yeah.
2007. Uh, you're
They
right.
still do it on TV though, which is weird. Like Veep and Curb Your Enthusiasm, they still have a lot of those that type of humor, but they just don't do it in movies anymore. It's weird to me.
Yeah. I do agree about the comedies. Like comedies have gone downhill um a lot. Literally, there's one called Downhill with Julia Louis-Dreyfus and Will Ferrell.
That I don't even know if that was a comedy. It was a remake, first of all,
Oh,
of
okay.
a Swedish movie.
Mm.
It wasn't that funny. It wasn't. It was. I mean, I don't even know. I mean, it was. I don't know if it was even intended to be that funny.
Mm.
Yeah, I heard the original's good. This one got pretty. I mean, that's a great duo. I mean, Julia
Oh
Louis
yeah.
Dreyfus is great, and Will Ferrell, he's kind of fallen off. But I mean, yeah, if you're going into that expecting like a goofy comedy, you're going to be very mistaken.
Yeah. I think it was billed as a comedy though.
I mean, yeah, you have those two in it, but it was bad advertising then because it wasn't even it
Okay.
wasn't even intended to be like a gut buster. It might be like chuckles here and there, but it was more like an emotional storyline.
Okay. All right.
Oop.
Yeah, I got you.
Got you nodding off there.
Oh no, no, no.
No, I
Okay.
know it's late. I get.
Oh man. No, but let's see. So, um let's see. So we we were pretty split. Dave's solidly in the Little Giants camp. I'm more in Rookie of the Year just because I kind of have a soft spot for it. But in terms of the auxiliary picks, in terms of like the nice kind of take home 90s sports kids movie, Dave said The Mighty Ducks, which I agree is really good and still holds up really well. I love Coach Riley, played by Lane Smith. I think he's really funny. Gordon Bombay, played by Emilio Estevez. Emilio Estevez, great. I would probably go with Angels in the Outfield,
Ooh,
just because I think it's really funny.
good call. And Chris, that's got a great Christopher Lloyd in it. I remember. I don't remember.
Oh, he's wonderful.
I don't remember. In fact, that's kind of what I was. I couldn't remember exactly which one Rookie of the Year was, and I did get that mixed up
Yeah.
when you originally when you presented this episode to me.
Oh man. Yeah. Yeah. Critics gave Angels in the Outfield a hard time at the time, but it came out when I was a kid. So
Mhm.
um, like I watched it at the time and it still gets like syndicated and like played on TV occasionally and stuff like that. So and it's like a young Joseph Gordon-Levitt who's like a big actor now.
Oh,
So
I didn't remember. I didn't know that was the kid. Yeah, he's great.
yeah. And you're right about Christopher Lloyd. He's awesome in it. And
Hmm.
honestly, Danny Glover is probably my favorite part as the manager. I think he's so funny and he's so intense. Like he's
All
just
right,
so
I definitely
funny.
need to
And
rewatch this one.
okay,
Yeah, I saw it in theaters as a kid, so
that's
yeah,
awesome, dude.
I guess had to go with my mom, but
Uh, cool. All right. So thank you, Dave, for being on the pod. I appreciate it.
thank you for having me. Always a good time talking movies.
Yeah, and catch Dave Primiano and Dan Getz on the Rank Bank, available on Spotify and where you listen to podcasts.
Please, I want your pennies. I get I get those sweet pennies for every listen. And also I enjoy I put a lot of work into the content. But those pennies, that's
Oh man. Okay. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Have a good night.
good night.